Trials North America Season 1 for 2019. We're going to be starting off on downtown. We're going to catch the train in. It's a very high-speed train, Jaws. And you got to admit, I admire the public transport in Seoul and Busan. Seems like they're pretty on top of that, to be honest.
Yeah, I've never actually been to Busan. It's the one place in Korea like I need to go next time I go, because apparently it has the best seafood in the world, obviously being right next to the ocean. It is host the Korean Contenders finals as well. FYI, hot facts coming right at you. Hot game coming right at you as well. Got a little bit of Widowmaker from Pimamitsu, feeling pretty spicy, and Man as well on the Wrecking Ball. There's no, like, I guess Wrecking Ball is kind of a main tank carry, but we're not seeing a Reinhardt or a Winston, which we normally see.
And it would appear that Square One did anticipate this, as they have rolled out with a Moira instead of the Zenyatta. So we're going to have more healing available for their team. They can put out up to 400 healing per second using that Moira Biotic Grasp onto 5 teammates.
That they are. Awkward on the high ground with Pimamitsu. Not on the air conditioner, not for the time being. And is he doing a good job of making sure his Pharah is kept alive? Point is going to be unlocked, but the people that have the high ground don't necessarily have the low ground, as we do see the first cap going over to Square One, but Big Ol Willem going down first. Jolf tried to go for the charge, but a coalescence being used very early on to try and keep the rest of the team alive. Pimamitsu is going to go down. Hot Date is going to find the kill onto Izzy, and Faye is going to fall as well, as Angelic just picked him out of the air.
Ultraviolet here getting a huge amount of value out of a Coalescence, an offensive tool rather than a healing one. He trusted that Angelic would be able to deal with small amounts of poke damage that were coming in. First he went for Pimamitsu, then he looked over to Faye, who used the Barrage. And of course, while you're stationary in Barrage, you don't even need great tracking to be able to burn someone down with that Coalescence. And crucially, Square One, for the entirety of that fight, were able to maintain control by basically rotating their defensive abilities very effectively in areas where they could all be covered.
I hope no Moirios take that to solo queue, I'm not going to lie. Please heal the team. Do not just go for the solo coalescence on the backline, please. The team needs health too. There's the Graviton Surge thrown in at the back. That Transcendence isn't going to help with the self-destruct, but that shield definitely will, as Matchman was able to soak all that damage. A rotation now onto the point for Square One, as they do continue to hold 60% here, and obviously Widowmaker and Pharah being taken away from Triumph. They're going to move on to that more stable 3-3. The beat's going to come through, as well as that self-destruct launch straight up into the air and takes out Awkward. Another kill goes through from Dub onto Matman. A double kill for the Zarya as he kills off Faye as well. 75% and a rally marching them forwards. Just going to run straight to Triumph Spore.
And I got to admit, when I was doing my research for North American Contenders Trials, Hot Date was one of the players that really stood out to me. He appears to be a fantastic diva, and he keeps getting these huge high-value bombs, and he's always doing great things in the 3-3 rollout. So I'm very excited to see him play, especially with Joff, who's went into the back for a shatter. 2 down, Jaws.
Oh, there's 3 down, though, for the side of Square One. That Coalescence is keeping everybody alive, and Awkward goes down. Matman is going to follow. No one was able to actually touch the point. Even Dub with the Graviton Surge is making sure that Diva can't go anywhere. Triumph don't even get a single % on downtown as Square One take it.
Well, it's worth noting that Triumph are indeed a lower seed coming out of Open Division than Square One. Not that seeding really matters in a round robin, but just as a vague power ranking, Square One, I believe, did come second after the then Mirage eSports, who have now rebranded to Bermuda. So these guys are a pretty fearsome roster, and while we're talking specific names, Jolf also here is an up-and-coming star on the Reinhardt, consistently hitting great shatters. And Triumph actually fielding Matman as their starter here instead of Sherashoy, who is I'd say a more experienced tank, has played in Contenders with Bioweek for a while. Not a huge success, but it's hard to deny the value of the experience.
Speaking about value, it's 3-3, Harry. It's all over again. They're going high ground. No Maid to be seen. Can't wait until NA actually feel the wrath, the cold wrath. Not of the polar vortex, obviously, that is ravaging the US right now, but of May. Hopefully we see that at some point soon. A couple of people from Triumph actually getting pushed down onto the point. High ground advantage not being used too well by Goats, but nonetheless, Ultraviolet's going to be a little bit more safe.
Is he caught out there, not being able to dodge back behind Matman's shield before Dove burns him down, and it just seems like an all-out brawl now, Jaws.
Yeah. Elf's going to find 2 kills, thank you very much. Dove finding another couple, and up securing the point. Now, will we see Triumph actually cap it this time around? You'd hope so. But it's that rally coming up rather soon, but they're running straight head on into a Graviton.
look at Dove's advantage here into the Graviton Surge compared to Pibamitsu, who's about 57% behind him, and that's because Dove managed to get a kill onto Mystic's mech and the Pilot Diva using a Mortar knockback to knock him off the edge, so that gave him a huge amount of ultimate charge, which is some great tech from Vizaya.
There's the rally coming through from Square One. The Transcendence is going to match that Graviton Surge coming out from them as well. Faye is going to activate her rally a little bit later on. Remember, armor fades on this patch, so that will go on later on. Perfect bomb, hot date with the triple kill. Couldn't even finish my sentence about the armor change. I want to talk about how Brick's going to be dead some more, but seals the deal for Square One. They continue to hold. They still have a Transcendence to rely on as well.
Save your crabs, Jaws. Brig ain't dead just yet, and, well, Triumph definitely are. Jolf and Hot Date, you can tell they've been working together a lot. That synergy is on point, and like I said before, Matman is actually the substitute for Shevashoy, so you gotta wonder to what degree these guys are spending so much scrim time together when you're having to deal with two main tanks.
Better be rich in scrim bucks, because right now they've got to be rich in an ultimate charge, that is for sure, on the side of Triumphant, as they do throw out that Graviton Surge. Self-destruct right on top. The Transcendence not going to help, but the shield definitely does from Yolf. There will be a charge from Yolf to try and find the pin onto the side here, but Pibamitsu goes down to Ultraviolet. Faye finds comeuppance in a 1-for-1 trade in that regard, but Matman went down at exactly the same time. 80% as Square One continue to hold.
You can tell we're European casters, because when we see a J in a name, we pronounce it like a Y, because we assume they're Scandinavian.
Yolf.
Yeah, but it's actually Jolf. Because we're in NA now, Jaws. We're across the pond, and it does look like Triumph are going to be making a beeline for a point. They actually want to get a cap over this time. Matman's already been given that Discord orb.
Double rally into the Shatter. Two members hit the floor, but that's a big Graviton Surge. Awkward is going to use the Transcendence. Yolf actually just completely swerves around the Graviton Surge, not quite finding the pin. Angelica's going to be the first to fall as Mystic finds the kill on him, and first time in this map, we are going to see Triumph and actually cap the point.
Well, it's about small percentages, and in this case, small triumphs. The first cap of Triumph of their first match in NA Contenders Trials, but look at Square One. They are loaded for bear as they come back in. Almost 4 ultimates ready to go, and Triumph had to invest a significant amount into that last fight because they knew it was their last chance to stay in the map here in Busan. Only at the ready is for Sambo, which it looks like they're going to have to maybe invest a counter, but a good disengage will run down the clock on the enemy sand barrier.
Nice Graviton Surge. That self-destruct used more defensively as well to clear everybody away so no damage was incoming. That does mean Triumph are going to have to back down to the points. Yolf is extremely low and inflated with the Orb of Discord. Matman jumping to the back line as another Graviton Surge gets sent out. A self-destruct high up in the sky to make sure no one can jump on it. Both Rhines have been traded, but a rally coming out from Faye is going to net him a kill. Hot Date finds the melee kill into Awkward as Dove finds his like for like in Pibamitsu. Faye now on the point, just struggling to keep himself alive. Hot Date and Angelic are just trying to jump on him and kill him.
Faye still here?
Red kills and Izzy just keeping him alive. 60% now on the board for Triumph. That was so scrappy. So many ults were thrown in, and Square One are going to have to reconvene in their spawn.
Well, I don't know how Faye survived, but you got to admire how well Square One stuck to the target corp they had. They were told to go on Faye, so by God, they were not swapping onto anyone but Faye. But now it's going to be the enemy, Brigida, Big Ol, bringing everyone forward with this rally. Some extra resilience ready for them.
There's a shadow from Matman though. They're running straight towards him. They know exactly what's up. Yolf is going to able to block that with his shield, and Faye ends up going down first this time. A Graviton Surge isn't going to be able to come out or mix with a self-destruct, which just goes wide. Another one gets launched in by Mystic, but this time finds 2. Angelic and Yolf go down. Matman still firmly planting himself on the point. 99 to 99%. A Transcendence to try and end it all, but Matman is still alive.
He's got grab.
Even a sound barrier as well to end it all potentially as a Graviton Surge comes out, but nothing to mix with it, Harry.
Oh, Jolf came in with a charge, managed to pin Matman up against a blast shield. Now it's going to be an all-out brawl. Hot Day's got his eyes on Mystic. That's a primary target call, Jaws.
Oh, Big Ol finds the mech, and Dove actually finds the kill onto Izzy as well. This fight is still going, but a Graviton Surge gets thrown in, but Hot Day was right there waiting, open arms with the defense major, eats it all up, and Pibamitsu goes down as well. Square One are not done just yet as they continue to hold.
And Matman's here, but he's got a Discord orb on him. The Transcendence is going to dissipate, and so is Izzy, disintegrating in front of a self-destruct.
He flicked to protect himself from the self-destruct. Izzy not quite so lucky. Square One in the nick of time make it back to the point. End up taking Busan 2-0.
I think Jolf just had the most impact on a fight I've seen where someone died. First, he blocks out Matman's shadow so that they can't win that fight outright, and then Dove brings in the clutch Graviton Surge, which obviously has a lot of blame when it comes to how they won this fight, or credit rather. And Jolf actually charges from downtown in the like underpass where the heating pipes are, and it may be a quirk of RNG, but still worked out for Jolf that he did actually manage to pin Matman into one of the blast shields, which was just behind the Graviton Surge. If that wasn't there, the pin would have ran out of steam, he wouldn't be able to deliver that burst damage to Matman, and that could have gone the other way for Triumph, but luck just not on their side.
It's too much RNG in the game, Harry. I know Reddit's going to say it. Let's just say it now. It's not. You can time the barriers, Harry. That's exactly what he did do.
Yeah, time to grab for the barriers.
Exactly.
High IQ.
High IQ players. The self-destructs, more often than not, especially across the pond, in a lot of the games that we look when 3-3 is more prevalent, it is grab straight into self-destruct, grab straight into self-destruct, and then a Brigitte to try and bash one of the shields, or Rhine charge, or even a boot from a Lucio. We just saw a Hot Date throw one of his in that literally fade away, didn't even look where it actually exploded, just got back in. It's a triple kill. It's no worries, guys. I got the game on my back. It felt so good. They are just like they are switching servers too, and they are switching straight over to Numbani. So we continue to see Square One on the blue, and obviously Triumph on the red.
Yeah, this was Triumph's map pick, so I'll have to see if they've got something special to bring out here. We may see a Winston variant of the 3-3, because of course Winston here is super good to be able to move between those levels of verticality and continually pressure out people who may decide that they want to set up camp on high ground, like Zenyatta or potentially a Diva.
Maybe something potentially different, Harry. Come on, mate.
I want Torb back. This used to be where we saw the Torb.
I was gonna say Torb. I want to see the Farah on the offense. There's a lot of buildings you can hide behind, but the Torb turret will mince you up if you're not careful. And Torb ult mixed with Graviton Surge. That's an instant 6k. I'm just saying. It is a possibility.
Molten Core plus Graviton Surge.
Have you ever used that combination? There is no hope. There is no hope for your team.
I have not. The second
I'm a sick Torb, by the way.
The second anyone plays Torb on my team, I just I only play Reinhardt and I AFK from the shield. So I've never combined that.
Okay, I only play Torb on Hanamura defense. Point 1. No other map. But my win rate last season on one of my
I've seen you
accounts,
play on Rialto, you liar.
Okay, on Rialto as well, because you can hide it in the plants. But one of my alt accounts, last season, 70% win rate, Torb. Hanamura point A only.
Well, you've got a Torb expert here, ladies and gentlemen. Post your questions in the chat. I'm sure Jaws will throw through them later and then send you Twitch DMs regarding the answers. But for now, it will be Square One setting up on the defense. They've opted to defend first as Triumph have picked the map, and Triumph look like they're going for a DPS-centric approach. Once again, they're going for this Farah, but instead of Mitsu bringing out the Widowmaker, as we saw on Busan, he's actually going to be bringing out the Sombra. Just like Faye might be flying back to spawn there.
Looks like they are going to switch up. Okay, so it's going to be 3-3 Faye. I can imagine that's going to be a Brig. You wouldn't stick on the fire in that case. Yeah, straight 3-3 into 3-3. Not too much of a surprise, but they can have Zen over the Moira. More healing on the side of Square One, but that Discord all for Triumph.
Yeah, Jolf is going to be in trouble here. Won't be able to trade out with Matman very effectively, who's already got himself a little bit of ultimate charge from a nice fire strike. And Square One are going to back off. They don't want to take this fight straight away. Instead, they're going to back down onto a point, but they've got to be careful about how much space they give to Awkward here.
Gonna give him a lot. Ultraviolet still not full HP. Yelp's gonna be topped up with that armor pack, and they're gonna be just fight this corner for the time being. Just make sure they can get the Discord orb on the Reinhardt. That is key right now. Angelic is on the high ground, looking for a potential boot onto Matman to send him into the team. That Coalescence just farmed up so early, straight into the Shatter as well. Is met instantly with a Transcendence. Perfect timing from Awkward there on the ultimate, is able to not have him sent to the ground, plus keep his team alive in this engagement.
You've got to figure out how impressive it is for Awkward basically managed to get a Transcendence as quickly as Coalescence came out, and so fast, of course, were these Gravitons as well.
Self-destruct up in the air, Graviton Surge thrown out as well. That's a 2k for Matman, straight with the Fire Strike through the Graviton Surge. They should be able to cap the point as soon as they clear everybody else off. Ultraviolet doesn't have a shift left, no fade available. Should be able to be killed off rather quickly. Kept alive with the right click, but after that long kind of brawl, ended very explosively as that Graviton Surge stuck everybody to the side of the wall, and a point cap for Triumph.
Well, Faye has helped him fade away, and now he's going to be moving over onto the Zenyatta instead. Wants that straight 3-3 matchup. None of that disparity in terms of no disparity in terms of the healing or Discord orbs. And what was interesting that we actually saw Joel play around corners to try and force Awkward into a position where he was trying to connect that line of sight so the orb would not be automatically cleansed and potentially get a pick off there, but didn't actually come to fruition. Oh, this is perfect.
Shadow straight into the self-destruct. 2 kills for Hot Day. You would have blinked, Harry. You'd have missed it. Hot Day with a perfect self-destruct again. I was about to say they have 2 ultimates available, plus the support ult as well. That's all that they needed. Now they can hold the spawn doors of Triumph.
That's a Hot Day. I would leave a good review for on Yelp right there. Incredibly explosive. Dove going to play a faux front line to get himself a little bit of extra charge, and Job's going to be doing the same. Here's the aggression with the sound barrier.
Aggression with the sound barrier instantly met with a disengage coming through from Triumph. They speed away. Do sacrifice 3 people there too, Joel. Actually, you know, knocks himself up to 50% on the ult charge. I just want to clear something up real quick. Harry, do you leave Yelp reviews for dates?
Well, sometimes.
So, no, you leave them for places, mate. You don't leave them for people. You can't do that. That's really unfair.
I can and I will.
Oh, God. Never. I was going to say, never in a million years, mate. Even if you did ask me nicely. Man does have that Shadow. He has to mix it with Mystic Self-Destruct. They've also got the Graviton Surge, so Shadow goes wide, straight into the car. I'm not entirely sure what he saw there, but that Graviton Surge is going to find 4 people. Mystic planting that grab Self-Destruct right on top of their heads. Doesn't quite find anything, but they trade rides. Another Self-Destruct in amongst 4 people. Hot Day's going to find another one as they continue to hold the point. Faye keeping himself alive with the rally, but spawn R advantage for Triumph. It's all about stalling now for Square One.
Huge respawn advantage. Hot Day's going to give up his mech potentially. Does actually look like he's running away, waiting for a little bit of healing coming through from Angelica's. Dove's still here, and Big Ol has for rally. I'm not sure how they're going to fight this out, 4 versus 6, but if they win it, it's a miracle, Jaws.
It's not going to be winnable. But Joel does end up actually getting back rather quickly. Extremely quickly, in fact. They're only just going to be able to take this cart round the corner. It's been so long. They burnt so much of the time bank. 2 minutes, in fact.
Indeed, Pibmitsu's going to be playing quite far forward here. Knows that he has to try and catch up with Dove's ultimate charge. He's about 40% behind right now. And Joel and Matman, once again, going to be trying to play out here. Is he getting the boot? Maybe trying to get the shadow pass. Perfect play.
Straight onto Hot Day. Doesn't have a self-destruct really, so maybe not the best target. They're going to keep themselves alive for the time being, but Faye says not today. Runs straight at Yolp, ends up finding the 2 pieces. Dove and Hot Day end up going down. They've got 2 support ultimates to work with Harry, but they are going to wander around this corner, and this could be a potential cap here. However, speed boost from Izzy is going to be able to make sure that Square One are punished for every step they take.
It's definitely a testament to Izzy's shot calling skills as well that he can combine with Matman, relatively new teammate, to get those boop shadows, which are so important. And does it like Triumph, having claimed that space, will mean that they can get through second point relatively untouched here. And Square One, despite the incredible ult bank they have ready, going to move forward.
That was a tasty right click by Ultraviolet. Awkward's going to go down as well. Ultraviolet finding 2 kills. Thank you very much. Nice pin as well from Yo. How does he do this? The longest range pins. Batman's like, yeah, sure. I'm dead anyway. You might as well just take some extra ult charge. Just a little bit of a gift before I pass.
I think I've got to send my boy $10 so we can rename to Ultraviolet after that.
Oh, dearie me. You know that's one of his smurfs, 100%. 100%.
For sure. Dove going to be trying to block off his chokes, same as Joel Fear, but of course he can actually get poke onto a shield from people who are inside. That's a great boot. This could actually reveal the remainder of Square One to some Triumph aggression, and they've got 5 ultimates to play with, everything excluding the sound barrier.
A lot of ults on the board. There's the grab straight on top of Square One. Self-destruct as well, defensively and offensively. A 2-2 piece. Hot Day and Mystic find each other. That'll be awkward as well, using that Transcendence to keep the rest of their team alive. And a sound barrier a little bit later on, but it's met with a slam onto the ground. 4 people say sayonara. Yop is now going to get jumped on. He gets instantly killed as Faye finds it. Izzy's going to find another one as they finally get the cart moving.
An impressive brawl, but Triumph there, they just have the spawn advantage. If you begin trading out on things like self-destruct, Triumph's reinforcements will come back a lot more quickly, but the further this cart moves, Jaws, the more it's in the Square One's favor here, because of course we are moving towards Square One spawn, but Square One don't actually have any ultimates here to use. Ultraviolet may well be able to build up towards that Transcendence, but it's going to be a vanilla fight, only basic abilities available for this first engagement.
And it is, but Matman, man, he's got, that was a hell of a sentence, but he's got 83% on his ultimate. Shatter available very soon. Dub playing and risking it a little bit there, using that personal shield to get a little bit of extra charge. Ultraviolet has got that ultimate available now as he finds the kill onto Pibamitsu. A nice swift and click and clean headshot does end his life, and Matman going down as well. Once again, forced back to their spawn. 45 seconds now remain, Harry, in their time bank, and it is Matman with the only tank ultimate available for Triumph.
And it's worth noting now that in this second phase, we have actually seen Pibamitsu be the first death twice in a row. And it may be that he's just being too aggressive here and that Square One have read that and they continue to exploit it. That time it was Ultraviolet, before it was someone else managing to pick him off. You cannot afford to lose your Xayah like this.
I don't know about that Shadow or either one of those straight into the shields of each other. Matman is going to go down though, and now no shield to protect the rest of Triumph as they get Graviton surged. Another one coming through, this time on the side of Triumph, and another Transcendence to keep them alive. A self-destruct is sent in, however, Mystic is going to be able to dodge out in time, but they still need to be able to touch the cart. One person is on it, and it is going to be Izzy, not providing the team with the rest of the heals, but getting it a couple of meters closer. He is end up going to go down, so now no speed boost is available for Triumph. A self-destruct launched high into the skies. That sound barrier came through from the side of Square One.
It's going to be Jolf's going to be swinging right here. He's almost got that Earth Shadow. There it is. Everyone going down. They're going to follow up the grab.
Straight into the grab. Dove finds 2 kills. Ultraviolet another one. They're going to end it here right now. Dizzy trying to stay alive on the cart. Can't quite do so. That will be Square One halting Triumph just before 3rd point.
And Square One there, they really understood their win conditions. They knew that in overtime, Triumph had to be touching the car, and the second they saw Izzy use his sound barrier so that everyone had that overshield before he went off towards the car, they knew that they could either fight against a sound barrier team, or they can round back onto the point and get a easy 4v1 and then take a 6v5 against people who've had their sound barrier dissipate. So it was definitely some high IQ players there from Square One to really understand how they needed to win that out.
Izzy had to touch the cart as well. That was one of the main issues. Izzy, or like someone with mobility, had to touch the cart in order to force overtime. The problem is, as soon as you see that cart moving, what do? You're like, oh, there's only one person on the cart. I guess we speed boost towards that person to kill them. That's exactly what they did. And with Izzy dead, there's no speed boost available. There's no amp heal available. There's no sound barrier or a potential sound barrier either. As soon as that one piece of the puzzle is missing, Harry, you're pretty much done as a team, or as a team fight in the team fight.
Yeah, it definitely means you don't have as much control over engagements as Square One do. And I think that Angelic and his synergy with Jolf is one of the main assets available to Square One. I noticed in one of the VODs that I watched on the Route 66, Angelic actually got just a slight boop onto an enemy Reinhardt and allowed Jolf to basically shatter an entire team when the Reinhardt was basically like maybe 6 feet off the floor. So they've got some great synergy for these boop shadows. What we saw Izzy and Matman attempt earlier to middling success, but being able to really rely on Angelic's calls as a Lucio is a huge asset here.
Speaking of huge assets, we got Pibamitsu. He's on the Ash. We have Faye as well on the Fire. A bit of a different defense here coming through from Triumph, mixing it up just a little bit, but we do see Square One doing the same. They got Dove on the McCree. He's going to have to plink Faye out of the air. Problem is, anything I can see, Pibamitsu is going to be almost uncontested when it comes to this long-range duel. Yolf and Hot Day are going to have to commit so much in order to try and take out this Ash.
Man's going to be playing around with a flank here, making sure that no one from Triumph can claim that space, but Ultraviolet coming in again.
Dove, put down the revolver, mate. I've got some orbs straight for that Farah's head. They jump straight on the body too, so there's no res possible for Izzy. And now Faye's going to have to walk back from spawn. Harry, this might just be a one-fight wonder. 2 ticks have been acquired, and actually Mystic and Matman jump straight back on the point, met with a couple of Sound Blaster shots from Angelic to take him out. And now Ash is in trouble on the back line. Yolf finds the entrance he needed. Dove taken out too. That'll be 0.1 cap for Square One.
Alright, I keep talking about Jolf, but I'm going to continue to talk about Jolf. And that's because he had the perfect use of a shield when Matman and Mystic engaged right there. He knew that Matman and Mystic both had to dive together onto a point to stop it from being capped. So what he did was he waited for them to dive in, and then he placed down their shield on top of them, so that Awkward could not deliver long-range healing from the Ana. We all know as an Ana, the biggest frustration is that you cannot heal through the shield, and you lack the DPS to really burst through it. So Matman and Mystic, they were suffering without healing, and now they've had enough of that composition draw, so moving over to the old classic 3-3 versus 3-3. But look at the premium Ultraviolet has on this Transcendence, thanks to how much he was fragging out.
Oh, but Bob was almost ready. Well, he wasn't really that ready. It was about 30%, I think. But still, Bob can act as the 7th member of your team, man. Bob's strong. Very, very strong, unless he gets slept-eyed, stunned, hacked, or booped, or charged, or any of the above, really. There is the rally from Biggle to push everybody forward. Dove using that personal barrier fairly early is going to have to be a little bit more careful, but that self-destruct right into the back line is going to get blocked up by the Zaya shield, all absorbed, turned into energy. Matman not quite so lucky, though, as he's isolated from the rest of his team. Mystic now trying to stall on this point, which is only a meter away from delivering, ends up going down as there's no Rhine shield to actually stand behind. Pibumitsu is going to fall as well. Look at this time back carry that they're going to be able to acquire here. Faye falls. They have 5 minutes and 30 seconds to only get it 45 meters. Or 46.
They can claim all of this space right now. You can see Jolf's going to be doing exactly that. He's actually moving around potentially for a flank shadow. I imagine he's been spotted out by Pibumitsu right here. Trying to have 5 ultimates to try and make this work. And they've got to stabilize. It's now or never. They may have to invest so much in this, but if they do, oh no!
Matman, though, in the nick of time, just turns his shield, doesn't get shattered himself, but he jumps straight into a Graviton Surge. The Transcendence is there to heal him out, and they throw out a Graviton Surge of their own, but the self-destruct is launched high. Mystic, unfortunately, goes a little bit wide, and now another shot from Madman launched up into the air, but still manages to connect. He ends up falling as that self-destruct used a little bit more defensively to push everybody away. Triumph now just falling, getting isolated and picked off. Izzy falls, and Faye with the rally is going to have to push her team forward. Met swiftly with a club to the back of the head. The Hammered comes in, but it is all said and done. Square one, move it towards the yellow square of victory, and that will be them now 2-0 up in the series.
And Ultraviolet there managed to save his Transcendence for such a long time because there was just so little pressure being applied. I've got to admire the micro comps of Triumph there to be able to break Jolf's shield as Matman was mid-animation with the F-Shadow. Actually got booped up, so there was more time to try and make that work in order to get the shield up on the side of Jolf, but he just didn't have enough health and it was broken. But Triumph lacked the follow-up they required. I don't know if they had the shot-calling power that they needed to really move forward onto one target. I thought they were peeling in their backline, trying to deal with too many threats at once, and Square One presents so many threats, and that's what makes them so dangerous.
I'm really not sure about that play of the game. Like, he booped Izzy off and he got an environmental, but Hot Date threw the self-destruct in after the shatter landed on like 4 people.
I'd call that a Jolf play of the game, to be honest, because there was nothing to really set up that shatter. He was in Matman's head.
He hit it.
Yeah.
He hit the Q key. The shield wasn't there, and then yeah, but I'm saying the Hot Date should have been play of the game. That makes no sense. You got the boop kill on the okay. Well, regardless, I think honestly, just the synergy coming through from Square One already just paying dividends. Hot Date is just popping off left, right, and center with these self-destructs. And like we said in during the game, in fact, it's normally something that's comboed with the Graviton Surge, not normally with the Shadow. Although it is extremely effective, we normally see it plonk straight up on his head. But Jolf is just setting up these shatters just so perfectly that why not throw it in straight on top of 4 people?
And we can see, like, Triumph did attempt to buff their roster up with the importing of some new players from EU, like Izzy and Faye, but like you said, synergy here is Square One's primary asset. They are leveraging that additional synergy that they have from having played together for so long in Open Division, and I feel like Jolf, Hot Date, and Angelic are such a powerful core. You might be able to slot them into any team and have them do well, and we got to remember, these guys aren't just trying to qualify for